Deep in the eastern Pacific, the snapper is a highly effective predator. It thrives in a competitive reef environment, appearing perfectly healthy and entirely normal. But inside its mouth, this fish is missing something vital. Instead of a tongue, it harbors a living crustacean exactly where that organ should be. The classical definition of a parasite involves two distinct entities: an invader attaching to a host, extracting resources, and causing harm. Contrast that with an organ. Components sit entirely within the host, bound by interlocking systems, functioning purely to serve the larger body. Then we have Cymothoa exigua, the tongue-eating louse, a marine isopod that ignores these rigid distinctions. By crossing the line between destructive invader and functional anatomy, this creature forces us to ask what actually qualifies as a body part. The process begins quietly. Microscopic young larvae drift through the water column, riding the respiratory current straight into the gills of a passing host finch. Once inside, the female louse navigates forward, moving out of the gills and into the oral cavity to mount the fish's tongue. She immediately latches on and initiates an aggressive feeding cycle, continuously siphoning blood directly from the tongue's internal supply. This cross-section shows the fish's oral cavity. The tongue progressively atrophies from a dual-pronged attack: severe internal blood loss and direct physical damage. Deprived of circulation, the tissue dies. The tongue eventually falls away entirely, leaving behind nothing but a small flat stump. This looks like a textbook case of parasitic destruction, but the louse is essentially just running a demolition phase, clearing out the original structure to make room for what comes next. Once the organ is gone, the louse stops destroying and begins the process of permanent integration. This wireframe reveals a biological plug-in. Its hooked legs evolved purely to grip and anchor. The louse aligns flush, clamping permanently onto the tongue stump. From here, it mechanically replicates the organ, pressing food against the roof of the mouth and sweeping meals back. A new biological economy settles into place. The fish regains a highly functional tongue, eating just as it always has, and in exchange, the louse exacts a lifelong minimal tax of mucus and blood. By reverse engineering the mechanics of the host's mouth, the louse ceases to act as an infection. It engineers itself into a living prosthetic. This chart compares the survival and feeding rates of normal snappers against those carrying a louse. The bars rise to the exact same height. Researchers find zero significant difference in how well these infected fish eat or how long they live. Once the substitution is complete, the parasitism becomes essentially benign. The host fish lives out its years normally, using a foreign creature to complete its basic biological tasks. If an organism seamlessly adopts the mechanical function of an organ, and the host utilizes it every day without long-term detriment, does the label parasite still accurately apply? The tongue-eating louse shows that the line between a foreign invader and a piece of your own body isn't always a solid wall. In this system, the label of parasite or body part is less about where the organism came from and more about its functional fit.